whatever happens, frankly, with this verdict, let's say there is a guilty verdict on the highest charge, it will not take away the pain of the Floyd family. It will not take away the pain of the communities, all communities, regardless of their color or geographic location, that felt sadness and anger in what they witnessed in that video. This verdict is but a piece of it, and it will not heal the pain that existed for generations, that has existed for generations.
All right, so much for that. I heard about closure, didn't you? And nope. She's just ripping off the Band-Aid. Anyway, let's see here. We are live. This is in, can't really tell. That's still New York. It's right across the street from a bowling. That's actually, they're right going by a bowling alley that I used to go to. Yeah, this is just not great. I know some people will see this and say, oh, wow, a beautiful, peaceful protest. But they're taking over a whole street and doing whatever the heck they want to do. And I don't know. I'm not good with that. I'm not. It's illegal. It should be illegal. Where are the cops, by the way? Logan Raddick noticed that there were no police outside, not too far from the courthouse, the protest that he was covering. I'm joined now by Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, Republican of Colorado. Welcome back, Congresswoman. How are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
Terrific. Your thoughts on the verdict, please.
Well, today's decision is certainly emotionally charged for many people, but Judge Peter Cahill asked elected leaders to respect the constitutional separation of powers and stay out of the judicial system. I wish hearing from Vice President Harris that there would have been a call to calm, but she seems to be following more the road of Maxine Waters, who just wants to continue to stir up unrest instead of using that position of influence to actually calm people. We have riots all throughout the country that need to stop. I mean, we're seeing right now, you're showing these protests. These are peaceful right now. I hope that they stay peaceful, but people need to get places too. It's interesting that we don't have these social distancing laws that are being enforced and everything when these folks decide to take over our streets. But the rioting absolutely needs to end, and our reaction to the conviction should be based in love, not hate. And in the words of Scripture, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses.
Wow. Yes, it does. And I couldn't help but notice that Kamala Harris wasn't feeling the love or wasn't showing much. It was all about the anger, and this is not going to really change anything. The pain that goes back generations. This is with us to stay, and I think the exploitation of matters like this are with us to stay. They exploited this to the hilt over the past year and a half.
You're exactly right, and who's to say what these jurors were actually going through, and what kind of communications were coming to them. I've heard it be said that their personal information has been leaked and even their addresses. So we don't know the threats that were even coming their way. But that is the judicial branch, and we saw that branch fulfill this, and he was convicted of murder. But it's interesting that the Vice President of the United States cannot take time to address what's going on at our southern border, while we have hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens crossing our border without a negative COVID test, and even being put on planes from Central American countries without ID and without a negative COVID test, and flown into our country, and taxpayers are paying for it. She can't go down and address that, but she can address a court hearing, and she can go and buy yarn. I think she needs to take that yarn that she went and bought in San Francisco and start crocheting these kids some blankets.
It is wild, though. The border is still a huge mess, a total crisis. And again, part of their exploitation phase, we're wrapped up in this case, and that continues. And also, kids are not back in school, a lot of them. And you mentioned this protest. You're right. They're not rioting. But at the same time, it's a coercive protest. They have taken over the streets, and that is against the law. And I know some of these people. And I think they're quite frankly ridiculous. But we'll talk about that some other time. Well, I don't know. Well, we got to go, Congresswoman. You're terrific. Thanks so much. Hey, real quick, Maxine Waters, of course, made some horrific comments, very prejudicial, asking people to confront others, basically calling for riots. What's happening? I heard Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about, trying to get a censure resolution. Where does that stand?
Well, if it was up to me, Representative Maxine Waters would be expelled from Congress. This is not the first time that she has incited violence. She left her district, she left her state, and used her position of influence to not calm situations, but to stir them up and get people agitated and really stir hate and incite violence. And we have seen people rioting and breaking the laws because of her rhetoric. I introduced a formal ethics complaint today. I filed that against Maxine Waters. So she has to be held accountable for her words. And she has to go before the ethics committee and give an account for what she said. I'm tired of Democrats getting a free pass. We voted today to censure her, and it was right down party lines. And unfortunately, we didn't have the numbers to see that happen. But you have the Speaker of the House of the United States Representatives endorsing this behavior from Maxine Waters. And Greg, Maxine Waters is not a fringe member of the squad. She is the chairman of the Finance Committee. She is supposed to be a notable and respectable Democrat. She is not fringe, but unfortunately, this is exactly where the Democrat Party has gone, and they are all being drugged down this progressive narrative. This is the norm for the Democrats now.
Yeah, no, she's crazy. She is totally nuts. Well, Congressman Boebert, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. To be continued, okay?
Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.